It's about to happen.
Is this about to happen?
I think this is about to happen.
Okay, here we go. The conversation that we've been dreading, but is so necessary for
The conversation we've been
humankind.
dreading. Yeah, exactly. The conversation we've been dreading, but the one we've all been waiting for.
Have we? I don't know, maybe you can tell from the title already, but today we're going to speak about jerking off.
Jerking off and nofap, bro. Hey.
Masturbation as a man. It's going to be a fun topic. This one's for the guys.
Sexual cultivation.
This one is for the guys. If you're a girl,
for the
then
boys.
you can listen if you want.
For the boys.
This one is for the boys because guys don't want to speak about this stuff. Society does not want to speak about this. So here we are speaking about it because it is life-changing information that is very necessary for all males to hear.
Yeah. And then take and do with, what they feel in their guts they need to do with, but it's something that is very liberating, I feel like, to know.
For sure.
To know that there's a direction to take with the sexual energy that's moving through us. That's just so liberating, I feel like, has been so,
there's almost like a sense of power as well to have control of this.
And
it feels very good. It feels very confident. So, I guess we'll speak about our experiences with it, why we think it's important, how it can benefit you in your life.
Wait, let's be very clear about what exactly it is. We're talking about sexual transmutation and cultivation.
Yes.
Yep. Using and moving.
I think we should speak first about why this conversation is so important in society.
Why it's needed. Yeah, why it's needed.
Well, I guess we can first speak about how sex is suppressed, or has been suppressed for so long in a society. I think it's definitely becoming more of an open conversation in the modern day.
Yep. Shout out to the internet.
Shout out to the internet, yeah. But still in church communities, religious communities, most of the world is still very hush-hush about speaking about sex. And that leads to a lot of suppression. A lot of suppression of sexual energy, but especially in men. And a lot of unhealthy suppression, which then manifests in
unhealthy relationships.
Very unhealthy relationships, actions, output into the world.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of frustration, anger pent up inside.
Lack of awareness.
Yeah.
That comes out in a very loose kind of way.
Destructive way. Angry way. So that's why we're here to speak about it. I guess, do you want to start us off with what is your definition of sexual cultivation or transmutation? Well, first of all, what is sexual energy? I feel like I didn't really know what that was when I first heard it.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and then I'll give my perspective of it.
Yeah. What I understand sexual energy to be is that there is this force within us that wants to create, right? As a man, especially, I want to create. I want to create my vision, create my life, create my myself in a way. I want to continue my line as a creature. I want to continue my seed. And that's an energy. That's a very primal energy that's living within me. That is deeply embedded in how I interact with the world, how I interact with myself, how I interact with life, women, where I live, who I mess around with. All these different elements come out of or at least stem from this space that is sexual energy, or the chi, the sexual life force that we have within us. So how that expresses itself manifests in all sorts of different ways. If you have awareness and cultivation and understanding of it, you can express it in a more directed way towards a life that you have envisioned and that you're creating with your intention, with your mind, and with your whole system's balance.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of what
I guess that's more like the spiritual side of it.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, which is fine. Just to like preface everyone, I think Jackson will give more like the spiritual energy flow of sexual energy, which is completely valid. I understand it. I think if you don't understand like words like frequency and vibration and energies and the chakras, it might be a little bit difficult to understand. So I'm gonna hope to explain it in not in like spiritual Eastern sense of sexual transmutation,
a body way.
But basically, sexual energy is like feeling horny, I guess. At its very essence, it's the like primal need to have sex or to ejaculate as a man.
To release,
whether that's through masturbation or sex. And that's that like...
You do such a better job,
That's that primal energy that almost like... And I'm sure every guy listening to this understands that like... That energy that just takes over your mind and your body, that you have like no control of your rational, logical thinking.
Yep. It's powerful.
So yeah, it's a very powerful force within us men, and most of us are victim to that energy, that force taking over our minds and not being able to control it, because it is very difficult to control. Like, even though we've both been practicing it for sexual cultivation and transmutation for a while now, it's still difficult to control. It's still a challenge because it is so powerful. But once you can almost like tame the beast, take control of it, or maybe control is even a harsh word, because I don't think you need to control it, but work with it. Work alongside it, and neither suppress it or take control of it. We spoke earlier about like how it's a very big bear, the sexual energy, and for the longest time religion and society has locked this bear away in a very dark cave in the basement, and thrown the key away, and it's just been like, stay there, don't come out, we're not ever going to speak about you.
You can only come out in this role, in this way.
And I think the church has a lot to do with that as well, and that has obviously influenced and affected society because it's been related with the devil. So all that locked up suppression then results in a lot of frustration, a lot of anger that, as I said, manifests in other ways into the world. So it's not about locking up this beast, but about how to learn to unlock the bear from the cage and bring the bear with you and be like, this bear's chilled, he's fine. I know he's not going to attack you. I know how to control him. I guess it's like having an aggressive dog in a way. Like being a dog, almost. It's like you can still have the dog with you, but know how to
work with it.
Work with your dog,
and it's
and have your dog work for you as well.
Exactly, you're a unit together.
Yeah,
you're not being controlled by it. You know, you're not being controlled by the wild animal of the bear.
Yeah, or
the wild urges of your body. You're working with it. You understand it. You know how to channel it.
Yeah,
I think that's been the biggest thing. How do you channel that beast, that bear's energy within you, put it towards something, and move it into a direction where it can either be creating more love with you and a partner, or creating a new life and a way of existence and a way of being.
So I guess let's speak about what is sexual transmutation or sexual cultivation, and also what's the difference between them. First thought was, what is sexual transmutation?
So from what I understand of it as of right now, this is what it is. Sexual transmutation is moving your sexual energy from a physical release point, from a physical, urge, a physical drive that's that's like controlling you in a way where like the sexual energy is so powerful you don't know what to do with it. So it's controlling you. Yeah. Learning to transmute that energy.
What does transmute mean for people that don't know?
to transform it, to take it and shift it into a different kind of...
To move it into something else.
To move it into something else, right?
Yeah.
To re-channel it into a different direction point. So instead of it controlling you and you needing to having to go release or, chase some woman or chase some sort of like experience to have because of that energy, you're learning how to work with it, recognize that energy, but instead of releasing it out, you're bringing it up the back of your spine into your higher energies in your system, and then bringing it down the front. So the transmutation part is that. So you're learning how to move it from a physical essence into a spiritual energy, a more higher vibrational space. And that feels so foreign when I even say it. That feels so just like, whoa, wait a minute, where are we all of a sudden? But there's...
Yeah, I want to add to that on the not spiritual front.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. Do you want to go ahead now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my definition of sexual transmutation is, again, taking that raw sexual energy, that unconscious just drive and turning it into something else, another more productive, more positive energy, and that can be put into the physical world. I understand what you're saying about the microcosmic orbits, which is like drawing it up your spine and all that.
Yep.
But
I go biology immediately.
But it's taking that energy and instead of masturbating and releasing that energy, putting it into working out, putting it into building, putting it into editing, putting it into like whatever you want to do, putting that energy towards that instead. And it's not easy to do that, especially in the beginning when you're just starting out. But the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And
that's the transmuting, though. It's all of a sudden not this urge, it's being pushed in. That energy is being transformed into...
You're using that urge to drive other forms of life. And I think, I guess the segues into what I was saying earlier is how that drive is ultimately very primal. It's designed for our species to reproduce. So the end goal is to have sex and reproduce our species. So
you're building yourself up.
If you aren't releasing, or if you aren't fulfilling that need of releasing your sperm and reproducing, whether your body thinks whether you're doing that with a partner or you're doing that with your hand and a computer screen, that's another thing we have to speak about is porn. But if you are not giving your body the release, then it's going to find a way somehow to make that happen because this energy is so powerful.
It's so powerful.
So if you don't allow yourself to just masturbate and release that energy, your body's going to be like, okay, I need to do something so that I can release. So it's going to turn that energy into, if you're working out, it's going to allow you to build muscle quicker, put on weight quicker. It's going to allow you to put in energy into building your dream lifestyle so that you can be more attractive to whoever,
a partner. Focusing more on...
And then you can ultimately have sex and release.
Yeah.
Wow, this smoke is killing me right now.
It's sending it your way.
The smoke is just like, I'm going to bury myself in your face right now.
It's switched its directions.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to stand here for a while. But yeah, I think we should speak about pornography and the effects of that on the world right now and how it's so normalized.
Yeah.
So, do you want to jump into that?
Yeah, I mean, it's become such a normalized thing. I don't think anybody knew or had any sort of reins on it because the internet just hit, and then all of a sudden it was kind of just accessible to upload whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's become this rampant thing that I think is just revealing to us how deeply this kind of desire and this energy goes within us. And that because pornography is the most viewed and most accessed site online, but it's just in general the most accessed thing online.
Yeah.
It's revealing to us our primal nature of that moment being so profoundly impactful to our senses. And like I think that are, in a weird way, that is what's bringing up this conversation. You know, it's become such a big thing. It's become such a big issue where men, but really everybody at this point, are so engrossed in this visual kind of pleasuring that we've lost touch with connection. We've lost touch with like a physical partner, a physical intimacy in that space. So we've lost touch with the more subtle kind of
how to be social,
all these different
how to pick up on
things.
cues, how to be more attractive. Because I think
you know you don't have to go fight for it. You don't have to go do anything for it. You can just go.
You can go to a website and you're there. You've done it. You've fulfilled your role as a man, as a male species to reproduce. And I think I'm pretty. Like, I know there's been studies where your brain can't tell the difference between pornography and real life.
Right.
So your brain is like, cool, I'm with a different woman every day. I'm so successful as a man. So I don't need to do anything else right now.
Right.
So it's just having that place where it's so easily accessed. And if you are so unconscious about it, like, of course it feels great. It looks great. It's amazing, like, to have that access.
It's a beautiful privilege.
Yeah.
But that privilege is taking away from the fact that what that energy is our creative. We can learn how to...
It's our drive.
It's our drive.
We aren't using that drive. We're just giving it away.
Yep. And we become so weak as the male role in society.
Yeah.
We're becoming weaker because of how much we're giving it away. And we have to relearn how to reharness it and rechannel it. We're being controlled by the energy and just giving it away constantly.
Yeah.
And so we have to learn how to rechannel it, like you're saying,
into other forms of life.
Building up your muscle, building up your life, building up your career, building up your social,
to be
balance.
To be more of a man, and not that you should only be a man. I mean, we spoke about this in the last episode. Like, it's very important to have a balance between the masculine and feminine.
But balance means understanding what you are as a man too. And being able to actually create out of that masculine space, and go fight for it. And that's what the energy gives you. It gives you that drive to go fight for it and to go chase it down like a hunter would.
I wanted to speak about like the flow of if you're not in a relationship or if you are in a relationship, how masturbation affects either one, as to not leading to a healthier sexual lifestyle and just lifestyle in general. So I guess I'll touch on first, if you're not in a relationship, if you are masturbating every day or multiple times a week, you are watching pornography multiple times a week. Again, your brain thinks that you're with different women all the time. It's like, I'm good. I don't need to find anyone. It's fine. I'm living my best life right now. You also being so stimulated all the time by all these different visual environments, and dopamine is a whole nother thing as well. You just are flooding your brain with dopamine, and that's like one of the highest forms of dopamine we can get, because it's trying to reproduce our species. So our brain is like,
and it's so
that's good. I'm going to give you the biggest rush of dopamine right now, so you keep doing this to keep reproducing. Anyway, so if you keep watching pornography and masturbating multiple times a week, then your brain is like, cool, it's going to keep rewarding you for that, because you're fulfilling your role as a male species. Jesus, smoke is destroying my face.
It's shifting.
I'm going to shift over here.
Yeah.
So, if you're doing that, there's no need to go find a partner. There's no need to make yourself better as a man. There's no need to improve your life, to improve your health, to improve your lifestyle, to make more money, to be more attractive. And I think there's so many men that can be so much more. Everyone has the potential to be attractive. But when we're locked into the system that has become so normalized through society, through media. I think social media is terrible at this as well, because it just perpetuates this idea that sex is the ultimate goal.
Which it is, but not in that way.
I guess I'm saying that in the wrong way.
No, I hear you. It's like
it's so accessible. Even on social media, like there's girls dressing half naked.
Yeah.
And it's just like so easy to get that visual stimulus. You don't have to work for it. So that's how it affects you if you are single.
Which then just flares up the male system when he sees that. Yeah. He's like, ooh, like, whoa. Like,
exactly.
Should I think about hypothetically releasing today? Like, what?
Yeah.
Ooh, like, wow.
Exactly. Whereas if you're not releasing while you're single, then you're going to be much more motivated and driven to
fight for something that and create,
to make yourself more attractive, and then find and attract a partner that's good for you. This is not to say that you should, if you're single, don't masturbate and just go sleep with whoever comes your way. That's not healthy either. I think it's important to use that energy again to create the best version of you so that you can attract the best partner for you.
Yeah. Well, and use that energy to, like I was saying earlier, like learn how to work with it in your system.
Yeah.
Like learn how to work with that energy in your system. What is it doing in your body? There's so many levels and layers that you can like take it to and like work with and understand within your own body. So instead of, if you're single, instead of just being like, man, I should just go get one off.
Mm-hmm.
No, like work with that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Go study, how you can manage it, how you can calm that down. What do you need to go do to move your body, move your energy, meaning what do I need to go do to move my system so that this gets out of my focus?
Yeah.
It becomes so powerful that it becomes your focus. So what do you need to do to go move your body so that it gets out of your focus range and you can refocus on your goal.
Yeah.
And you can use that energy to point you into the direction of your goal, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And you can learn in the biology, like it's not so foreign and it's not so like, so metaphysical as like a lot of the spiritual stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
It's physical. There's teachers who can teach you how to move it physically, and you just begin to work with that.
Yeah.
It takes time, it takes practice, but you can begin to work with it. You can begin to learn how to manage it, control it, and move it into a different direction.
Yeah. For sure. And then I think when it comes to being in a relationship,
right.
I think if you are in a relationship, there's no need to be masturbating.
Mm-hmm. Not after this.
No.
There's no point.
I think if you are masturbating in a relationship, that means that I guess you aren't putting enough effort in. Mm-hmm. You aren't trying. You aren't being as attractive as you can to your partner.
Well, and maybe we should clarify releasing and masturbating. Because, I guess it's a little bit too much detail, but as a man, we have to learn how to rechannel it, remove that energy, so it's not being just focused on that urge and that desire.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a relationship, there's no need to be releasing on your own. Maybe we should say, like you could be working with your energy and still practicing and training.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify just directly because I know that kind of can get confusing with quote unquote masturbation.
Yeah.
Releasing on your own versus releasing with a partner. I think when you're with a partner, you don't need to be releasing on your own at all in no way, shape, or form.
Because I think again,
you're giving her that essence, that chi, the energy you want to be given.
Yeah, and I think if you are, again, if you're looking at pornography still in a relationship, I think that's even more destructive.
Yeah.
Because you're finding that easy stimulation, like if your partner's tired or on a period or whatever the reason is, if you're gonna go just watch some porn and jerk off in the bathroom, that's a quick, easy release, and you're like, cool, I'm done, I'm not frustrated anymore. But if you almost like use that frustration, you have to put in some more effort. Maybe you have to go on a date, maybe you have to
when it's transforming that frustration into how can I bring more life into this relationship?
Yeah,
how can
exactly.
I bring more peace for her as she's going through this through her cycle? Like how can I help her move through this in a better way so that I'm giving her the energy that I would be releasing through this more emotional, more in tune, more I'm tapping into you way, so that then you're feeding her and she's sensing that.
Yeah, and that's going to make you more attractive
to her.
Yeah.
And then she's going to be like, I want to give you this love once I'm feeling up to it again.
Exactly.
And Thank you for taking care of me.
Yeah.
There's more love being shared between
Yeah.
both of you. So you can use that's what the transmutation is,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
transmuting that energy instead of it becoming a frustrating thing where it's like, I can't even...
Yeah.
I can't
Use
even
that
get off right now.
frustration
Transform it. Boom.
again
All of
as
sudden,
a
more love.
sign
Yeah.
as a trigger to be like, okay, I'm feeling this frustration right now. Let me not just release it. And instead, what can I do? Again, taking responsibility for yourself.
Right.
What can I do to ease this frustration? Whether that's...
For her, for me,
Yeah,
whatever.
For both sides. Whether that's going to work out, going to work on your dreams, work on your goals, and how can you make the relationship better as well? Or
Get her
putting
dinner.
that energy into
Can
the
I
relationship.
cook for you tonight?
Yeah.
Like, how can I...
Exactly.
Do you need wine? Like, what do you need for you to feel better, more comfortable?
Because as soon as you release, then it's like, okay, I'm done. Like, I hope you feel
watch
better.
Some TV.
Yeah.
Good luck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And she feels that, like the feminine energy. You know, they feel.
Yeah, they're much more intuitive.
They're way more intuitive to that kind of stuff, and they know. Like, they're kind of like, okay, like he's not even as invested in me and like what I'm kind of transitioning through, my body's doing and dealing with.
Yeah.
Like, and when they feel that, they don't want to be as in tune with where you're at and like what you need, and so then all of a sudden the disconnect begins to happen.
And then it just strengthens over time. Yeah.
And if you're not aware of it, and if you're not conscious of using that energy consciously, using that energy in an aware way, it will break it. It will break that relationship at some point, just because
you're gonna get pushed further and further away from each other.
Yeah, and it's the male's job. He started that break at the beginning with his lack of awareness of where his energy was at.
And also that frustration again manifests in other ways, whether it's being passive aggressive,
right?
Yep. Or aggressive, being angry, being frustrated, and then those are the signs that seem to break up relationships when in fact it's this underlying frustration, because sex is so important to relationships because of the literally chemical bonding that happens through dopamine, through the neurotransmitters, through oxytocin, serotonin, is that the right one?
I'm sure it's involved.
One of the tonins. I mean, I know it's oxytocin.
Melatonin.
Sure. I'm dead. No, but like all the bonding, love chemicals.
You become one.
That's released through sex.
Yeah.
And if you are not having sex in a relationship, that slowly starts to break.
Yeah, in the relationship, there's nothing for it to stand on. If that energy... Because that's the foundation of... I mean, I'm very careful with how I say this. That intimacy is the foundation of the relationship. I'm not going to say that sexuality is the foundation of the relationship, because it's not. The intimacy of it, in the sense of the awareness of the partners coming together.
Yeah, and the trust that's involved in that.
And the trust, right.
It's like, I can trust you at my most vulnerable.
Yep. This is my most... Exactly. And the male leads that intimacy. That's his role in a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. That's his role when he's stepping into a partnership with somebody.
Yeah.
So if he's not taking care of his own energy, if he's not taking care of his own awareness, of his like intentionality with this energy and like with this desire, and he's not learning how to transform it, he's depleting himself, and he's also depleting the relationship. If he's not doing it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Off the bat, because he's not taking care of that intimacy, and that's the foundation of everything that the relationship is blossoming into.
Yeah,
trying to blossom into.
Even the intimacy with yourself, not even in a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you're just releasing that energy all the time, you aren't feeling that frustration, feeling that primal sexual energy coursing through your body, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do right now.
Right. Well, it's even weird to be like bringing up those kind of words in the same context, like intimacy and primal energy. Like what?
Yeah,
like, that's so weird, especially for us men to hear intimacy even involved in like our role.
Yeah,
we're not supposed to be intimate necessarily. Yeah, but we hold that intimacy, I think, and it starts with that intimacy with the self of like figuring out like, how can I take better care of myself? How can I be more intentional with how I'm feeling, what I'm creating in my life, what the foundation of my life is, so that I can be attractive to a partner, and then hold intimacy in the actual relationship. And I think that the sexual transmutation, sexual cultivation, like working with your energy develops that awareness of your intimacy. It develops that awareness of more subtle kind of cues that your body is sending you if you're on your own and with a partner, but then also with a partner. Your body is all of a sudden learned how to sense more cues of like, oh, she's kind of frustrated about something that happened at work. Like, how can I get involved with her and like help her feel better, help her feel more grounded? Yeah. She's on her cycle right now. Like, how can I be involved with her and making that feel better for her? Like, move through this more smoothly.
Because like, still the end goal for a male is to have sex, because that's the primal urge right there.
To create.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do here.
Yeah. And it's like...
But we can be creating in all these different ways.
Yeah.
And then we can use this creative energy that we have and transform it into a plethora of options of my life, my physical form, my energy with my partner, my energy with my friends.
Yeah.
All these different ways that it can come out and we can learn how to work with as we get to know ourselves more and as we get to like work with it.
Well, it's... One thing that's interesting is, I don't know if you've read the book Think and Grow Rich, but that was my first introduction to sexual transmutation. And what's crazy is that book is actually about like money and finance and how to be successful. I had no idea what I was walking into. But Napoleon Hill actually writes at the end of there how if you can tap into this superpower like that, that's what the world has been built on. Is males trying to impress females.
That's the whole thing of it. That's the game we're playing. That's it. There's nothing else. There's no other game in town.
So if you can be aware of that and use that to your advantage, you can do pretty amazing, incredible things. And I can't remember the list now, but he lists some insanely successful humans or males in humankind that have changed the world that practice sexual transmutation. Yeah. And it shows like the raw force and power behind this energy that if you can learn to control it and guide it, you can change the world.
You can change the world, you can change yourself, and you can really transform like how you operate and who you are. Because I think about when I'm not releasing, putting my energy towards something I'm trying to create or manifest in my life, like I'm holding the best of myself within me, right? Like if I'm planting a seed, I'm planting the best of myself. So how I'm holding that and learning how to recultivate it.
I just want to clarify as well, like speaking about life force energy, like it literally, like life is created out of sperm and semen. So it's like using that life, like a whole literal life, millions of lives can come out of one release. Right. So that's what we speak about when we say like life force energy. Right. Carry on.
Thank you. When I'm learning how to work with that in my system, I'm not releasing. I'm getting so many more like almost like downloads like that you would get on a computer of like upgrades and stuff. Like my body is upgrading itself and learning how to transform it from the inside out. It's working with all the inner systems, and it's helping with its immunity. It's helping with all these body functions too. It's not even just like like I'm doing cool things in the external world too. It's like helping with body functions.
Well, again, I think it's your body being like, okay, if I'm not releasing now, then I have to make myself healthier.
Right? Exactly. You're like,
I have to make myself healthier, stronger, better looking.
Let me work with these issues that have been going on in the kidney or these things, and so it's sending all this good energy towards it, and it's good immune system. I shouldn't say energy kind of. That's
fine.
I send all this. I'm sending all this, immune boosters and vitamins and nutrients to these systems in my body that might be a little depleted because I haven't been eating the right foods, or I've been eating too many Snicker bars or whatever.
Well, also, I think if you're constantly releasing, like if you are eating, well, obviously just the energy flow of like food into your body is transformed into other nutrients in your body to help your body grow and maintain your life.
Yep.
That was a terrible way to say that. But if you're constantly releasing, then again, that's like the main function of the human male is to reproduce primarily. So if you're constantly releasing, all that energy from your food, from your system is being placed into your balls to create more sperm. Whereas if you aren't masturbating and letting that go, it's like, cool, I've got my storage for when it's ready, so I don't need to send more energy there right now, so we can send that to other parts of the body.
And so even when you're eating, all of a sudden that food is going to different and better places within your nervous system. Because
and I think that's maybe why you build muscle quicker, you can put on weight quicker, is because the energy isn't going there.
The body's expanding because it's not being depleted, because you're not constantly just like going for it. So the body's like, sweet, I'm good. Okay. Let's build some biceps. Let's build some, you work with these other like avenues of the body that you want to be growing and are trying to grow. But it's almost like you're fighting against yourself when you're having that constant release that's happening. And maybe that's like a whole different, but I guess I should say that. Maybe if you have been, like for men who have been, for us men who've been involved in this whole state of affairs as a species right now, where we have been constantly just like getting one off. This is helping your body rebalance itself. As you retain and as you begin to work with the seed within you, your body is rebalancing itself, and it's refining its center within, okay, what do I want to be doing? Who do I want to be on this planet? How do I want to be showing up for my family, for the people around me, for the relationships that I'm in? It's recentering you. So it's the way back home. You're
not just focused on getting one off all the time.
Right. Because when I used to be focused on that all the time. That was just kind of, I was like, bro, I got some crazy energy. Like, I'm trying to get one off real quick. Like, I didn't have the space to think about necessarily me and my long-term future. I wasn't as much invested in that. I was more invested in how people thought of me. People's perceptions of me in the here and now. You know, everything was way more ego-centered, way more like identity. Like, how are people perceiving me? What are people, how do I keep my face right so that everybody kind of thinks of me in a certain way? And so when you learn to begin to work with it, all of a sudden your vision expands. Your vision expands into a much broader state of existence, where you're thinking more along the lines of like, okay, how am I building up my future so that I can be stable when I have a family? How am I building up my future so I can help my parents or my family around?
And show up better for everyone.
And show up better for everyone.
Including yourself.
Including yourself. Instead of just being reactive to I
wanted to speak about this topic. Obviously falls into the nofap community of YouTube. Which I have some opinions about. I don't know if you do, but
I think they'll probably be very similar.
I
love the nofap community.
Yeah, I think it's doing a great job. It's having conversations like this.
Yes.
Bet. But I think this whole thing does become destructive when that's the only thing on your mind as well. It's going from one side of masturbating all the time, every single day.
I'm never going to do it again.
To I'm never releasing ever again.
Never going to do it again.
It's just one extreme to the other, and I don't think that's healthy. I think it's healthy to have a balance, and to almost like
we have to learn how to work with it.
Go through cycles and work with it. So I don't like us saying this. I don't think you should not masturbate ever again or not release ever again. I think it's healthy to do it every now and then, but that it shouldn't be your focus. To not ever do it or to do it all the time. And I think that's kind of what I don't like about the nofap community, is it's just like, don't ever do this. These are all the benefits. And if you do it, then you're bad.
You got to start over.
And you got to start all over again. All your benefits are gone. It's done. And that's creating the duality again, like we spoke about in the last episode with religion.
It's creating a duality in that space,
So it's like, so I guess if you're listening to this and you are interested in trying it out, I think you should absolutely do one spell of 30 days, at least, and it's not going to be easy the first time you try it. Maybe you go for 2 days at first, and then you go for 4 days, and then you go for a week.
Take a spell where you build up to 30 days.
Yeah, you don't have to go like from nothing or from all the time to nothing for a month. It's going to be too difficult. It's going to be
crazy.
It's going to be really difficult. So like, know that this is a very long-term journey. Can I speak on that real quick? Yeah.
Like, because what I'm thinking of is, because when I started this, I jumped on the whole, like, I'm not going to release again. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm thankful I did that. You know, I think it was helpful in the sense of replenishing my system. But what it didn't do was build an awareness of my system. I wasn't taking the time to figure out, okay, whoa, like, I just lashed out at the barista at Starbucks for no reason.
Yeah, because it's so much energy.
I'm so tight with my energy because I'm trying to keep it all up, whatever. Like that, me lashing out to that barista at Starbucks is a signal. My body's saying, "Hey, you're too much. It's too much energy. You're not used to this yet.
Yeah,
like pace yourself.
You gotta learn.
Let it go. Reboot.
You gotta learn to transmute it because there's also no point in just holding and not doing anything with that energy. If you just are here to not release and be like, everything's going to be great, it's just going to happen. Like, no, you got to put in the work still. You got to do stuff. Yeah. You have
to still create the life.
Yeah.
You have to, and that's unfortunately how disconnected we've got from this is because the creative sexual space has gotten so disconnected with our work and our sexual and our creative energy. They're two separate things when really they work hand in hand. The sexual energy is giving life to the work that you do.
Yeah.
So the work that you do needs to be, if it's not aligned with you, you need to look at that and reorient that and make sure that it's like something that you can like get down with, and then use that energy to focus it into the work that you're getting down with and like down to create. They both go hand in hand and they both are needed in the sense of the balance that you have within yourself, because you're creating at the work you're doing, and you're creating with your sexual energy. You're moving that sexual energy into the story you're telling, the work that you're doing, and that's very important to be thinking about and be conscious of. And how is it flowing? How is your external reality flowing with you and with relationships and with partners? All of those levels of it are signs and signals as to where your inner energy is and what it's telling you, what it's trying to tell you. If relationships are great, beautiful. You're on the right track. Continue down that. Continue to push. Continue to go. Whatever. Hit the gym. Like whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
If things aren't great, it's sending you signals. It's saying, hey, like you need to adjust. You need to adjust. You need to adjust. You need to make moves and figure out how to flow with me better. It's like we kind of talked about the last one. It's the universe trying to tell you, here, I'm giving it to you. Like, how do you flow with me? Flow with me. Work with me. I'm taking you somewhere new.
Yeah. Listen to what I'm saying.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. Thanks for adding that.
Sorry.
I just want to jump quickly back
in, please.
To the like nofap. And
yep.
I think you should do it for 30 days because I think you're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about male sexual energy. You're going to learn about your urges. It's going to be really difficult.
It's going to push you.
It's going to push you a lot, but I think you should do it. It's a great experience. But I don't think it's great to be doing it again to never release, because in my experience, after about 30 days, 40 days, it almost becomes like an obsession of like, that's all I could think about of like, okay, I can't release. But I was like, my mind was like, I gotta find a way. I gotta find a way. And so it became destructive because then that was all I could think about.
Yeah.
Whether that was like going out looking for other people or like coming up with any excuse to release myself, because your brain, that energy will find a way.
The energy is powerful.
It's very powerful. So I don't think it is productive over the long run. Well, but I think that's why if you can do it in cycles, maybe it's 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And you almost make it a lifestyle. It's not about counting the days. It's just about, okay, this is life now.
It's a new way of being.
I don't masturbate every single day.
Right.
And it's weird to say because it's so normalized.
It's so normalized to be like that.
And I remember when I first heard all of this information, I was like, what? Like, why would you do that?
Weird. What do you
Yeah,
mean,
like it
bro?
feels so good. What? But I think only once you get to this point, you realize how destructive it actually is.
Yeah. Well, and I would also say too that like it's all a spectrum. So if you know, it's totally up. It's your awareness with your body that's gonna tell you where you're sitting, what you need, how long you need to go. You know, it's all this inner journey, and so it takes you completely inwards because there's all these different voices speaking into this right now and beginning to speak into it, like the nofap community. Don't do it at all. For some people, honestly, that might work. Maybe it totally does for some homies.
Yeah, all our bodies are different as well. Like,
all our bodies are different.
Everyone's going to have different experiences of this.
Exactly. And I'm not saying I agree with what you're saying in the sense of I think we've all had too little awareness to get into it fully and jump on board with it in the sense of like, all right, I'm never going to do it again.
Yeah.
And I think it does create an unhealthy like addiction or an unhealthy kind of like rhythm with it.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's totally something that you should go into with freedom of like, get to know your body, go 30 days, study and listen to all these different kind of people who are speaking into this. Like, don't limit yourself to who's going to talk about what.
Yeah, don't get fixated on one person because then that also becomes like you only believe their views. It's like the whole like God thing as well. Like there's different beliefs, there's different ways of doing it. There is no right way, there is no wrong way.
Yeah.
So find out what works for you.
Yep, I agree, and I think that it's totally like you said, like it's your own journey, it's your own trip, it's your own biology that'll let you know what's good, what works, what's rhythmic to you. I think Montauk Chia is a huge guy that everybody should kind of like learn from because he's got the most like grounded, scientific, biological like perspective of it all. Yeah, you know, because he gives you Montauk Chia is a guy from the East and he gives you practices and rhythms and breath work, and we can probably link him below and all that whatever.
His YouTube videos also really funny.
He's hilarious, dude. I love him. Funny. He's such a sweet motherfucker. He's so
like
sweet.
Old Chinese guy.
Yeah. And you could tell, like I watch him and I can tell. I'm like, dang, you really do know how to move your energy. Yeah. You're very like lively and bright and springy and like vibrant.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed that in myself, like in the past year practicing it. Like I used to be super quiet and introverted, and maybe some of you watching on my YouTube channel wouldn't recognize that because I like used to put on this character for YouTube. Not a character, but like I would amp myself up and make myself bigger than I actually was. But
what's going on, guys? It's visual rep.
Exactly. But like in person I was super quiet and super introverted, and like as soon as I started this practice, like my body was like, oh, you aren't just releasing all the time? Like, okay, we got to figure out a way for you to, like, be able to speak to girls. Be able to be more attractive. So I just, like, got more confidence. I got more social skills. And, like, obviously there were other aspects playing into this, but I think this was definitely a big part of it. Was my body was finding a way and putting that energy into making me more attractive. Giving me better social skills. I think confidence is such a big thing as well, because this is something that most men can't do. It's so difficult to do this. So if you can master this, it's just like another level of confidence. Like, oh, I can tame my sexual energy as a man.
I can work with my sexual energy, which is like gangster these days.
Yeah, it is. It's so difficult to do. So it gives you another level of confidence. Even just like being able to like
and girls
eye contact as well. Yeah, it is. Like, I don't know what it is, but like
they can feel it. I mean, like a feminine energy. Her body is designed to feel what's a good match for me. Yeah, is this man a good match for me? Is this man? Is he fertile? Is he fertile? Yeah, like who's more
primed?
Who's more primed for me?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's just a biological thing. It's not anything about anything. It's just biology happening. And so it's like when you learn to work with it, you know, you're going to get more looks. You're going to get more kind of like second glances. You're going to get more just like, wait, who are you? You know what I mean? And it's like a lot more attention coming your way because people notice that there's something different about you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
I felt it. It's
you got
weird.
A different kind of glow. It's like a funny thing. Like, and again, like you said, like I can't really explain it or describe that, like what that is, but it's definitely
it just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
And
it comes with the confidence and the energy that you're putting out into the world, and people. Yeah, I mean, again, girls are more intuitive, so they can pick that up.
They. I mean, girls are they're gonna sense vibes. They're gonna sense who's gonna take care of me, who's gonna make me feel good, who's gonna like give me what I need.
This guy that's working
and
out
protect
and
me,
following his dreams and passions, and is confident and funny and outgoing, or the guy that sits at home jerking off, playing video games.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, it is.
Which is so funny. I remember when I first heard about all this, I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
it makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense.
You sounded so southern right there.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Hey, y'all, listen. I heard about this new thing called semen retention.
Y'all gotta try this.
Y'all gotta try this. This shit is crazy. That's funny. Yeah, it definitely is. It gives your energy a different kind of feeling about it.
It's a glow up.
It's really a glow up, y'all. That it can really change your life. All right,
it can change your life for y'all.
Sitting here around the campfire stories.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do we have any other notes on this? Anything else we want to say?
So. I think we should link. I mean, we could just link everybody we know who's talking about it for everybody to get more information on it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I eventually want to start talking about more in my spaces, and I'm sure you would do the same, but there's a bunch of people who already are. I
guess, do you have like any final advice for anyone that's interested in this or like wants to give it a go? Like what do you wish you had known when you started? Again, we kind of spoke about it already, but
what do you wish you had known when you started? That's a good one. That one really hit me. Sorry, I'm processing. I'm thinking about that. I think that I wish I would have known, flow with it. Like, don't be super tight about it. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about, if you release or whatnot. Like, that's part of it. That's part of the journey. You know what I mean? That's part of our life down here.
That's another thing I have with the nofap community is like, there's almost a shame.
Yeah.
Well, I felt this when I was starting out. It's like, when I did release or like slip up or relapse or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Even just the word relapse is so stupid, but I felt like this overwhelming sense of guilt of like, oh shit, now I've got to start over again. Like, I've been doing so well, and it's just like you fall back into the slump.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. You don't have to see it as a shameful thing. It's like, okay, sweet, I made it 2 weeks. That's amazing. I can have this wonderful experience and now build from here.
Yep. And what did I learn from it? Like, I think that, less pressure on that end, just more flow with it.
Yeah.
And then what are you learning from it? Like, what do you, take the time to sit with yourself and go within yourself. What is this telling me about myself? Why did I respond to my whoever that way? Why did I respond to how can I respond better in the future? Just being a little more introspective and asking more questions, I think would have been advice that I would have appreciated.
Yeah.
Without the pressure, you know what I mean? Knowing no pressure, just take your time with this new journey.
Yeah, take your time. It doesn't have to happen in a month or 2 months or a year.
It's going to be a lifestyle change. It's really because that's what really happened to me. Once it all started to click into place, I was like, man, I'm going to be different. The rest of my life, I'm going to be different with this.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle change, and take your time with it. And
whether it takes 2 years or 5 years or 10 years,
or your whole life.
Yeah.
You know, it will take your whole life. You'll continue to develop your awareness of it. We'll 6 months from now, we'll probably have a whole different...
Probably,
We'll have a whole different perspective.
And what's cool is, like, the consciousness and awareness that comes with this as well. Not even related to sex and sexuality and sexual energy, but just general awareness and consciousness that comes for yourself.
The human experience, It's
beautiful.
What about you? What would you kind of say to your...
I would say also just like don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of practice. It's okay if you relapse every now and then, whatever, it's fine. Make it an enjoyable process if you do. Don't look at pornography. Make it like, even try not to like imagine other people or other situations. Like, be with your body and be like fully in the experience. Don't think about something external. So we're so trained to do that.
Feel the body. Feel what you're feeling.
Yeah. And then I would say, make sure, I guess this is also just general like life advice, but it definitely goes along to helping make this practice easier, is have a physical practice, something that's going to allow you to move your body, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's playing sports, whether that's
spinning staffs,
chopping wood, like literally just moving your body.
Move yourself.
Move your physical energy. So have a physical practice, have a mental practice, like reading or studying something that you're interested in. Like, make time to like study a field, read books about it. Like, reading is just great. So make time for that. Have a spiritual practice, whether that's meditation, even going for a walk in nature. Like, that's a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be like the stereotypical, like sitting in lotus pose with your fingers crossed and
levitating.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. Just have like some kind of introspective practice where you sit still. You're not looking at social media. You're not watching TV. You take time to be with yourself. So physical, spiritual, mental.
Slow down. Yeah.
And I guess the other one I was going to say is like emotional, like journaling or like getting in touch with yourself. I guess that's kind of paired with spiritual.
No, I mean...
I guess it can be separate.
They're separate for sure.
But like, try and get in touch with your emotions. Because that's going to allow you to get in touch with that frustration and anger and like a lot of energy that's coming up in you. And you can almost look at that and analyze it from an external perspective and not be reactive to it.
Yeah, because it will be coming up. I mean, maybe we could leave off on this. Like, there are... Well, I don't know if we want to leave off on this, but... You want to use those practices because the energy that you're holding all of a sudden is going to be bringing up things that have not been looked at within you. It's going to be bringing up things within your body that need an outlet. Yeah. So if you don't have an outlet, you're all of a sudden going to be just spinning. Yeah. And the friction's
it's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to do it.
And there might be a lot of suppressed anger, or a lot of suppressed, hatred, a lot of suppressed, like all these energies that you've kind of avoided your whole life. And when
and you got to be able to process that.
You need to process
it. Journaling
is super important.
Another one I was going to say is a creative practice.
I like that,
even if you are not creative or you don't think you're creative, I think everybody is creative. I think people tell themselves they're not creative. Like, one of my favorite things to tell people, like, I'm pretty good at drawing. And people will say, I wish I could draw. And it's like, well, you can draw. Like, the only difference is I practice a lot more. And it's like, you just need to draw and then just do it more.
Do it more.
Like, telling yourself that you can't draw is just blocking you from the get-go before you even try to draw.
Yeah.
So have a creative practice. You're going to suck at it at first. Everyone sucks at everything first.
And everybody says you can't do creative stuff after you're like a teenager. You can do creative stuff your whole life. Creative stuff your whole life.
You just have to do it. And
it's
give
about
yourself
breaking
permission
through that mental space to just do it. Like, you have to just do it over and over and over again enough times to where all of a sudden you're like,
give yourself permission to be creative and create the reality you want to see. I guess this van is like a perfect example for me of sexual transmutation. I didn't know how to build. I didn't know how to do carpentry. But
he built this.
I was like, I want to do this thing. I'm going to figure it out. And I used that frustration and turned it into this, which is beautiful. It turned out so much better than I expected it to.
Right.
And people even tell me now, like, oh, I wish I could build. I'm like, I didn't know how to build, but you know what? There's Google and YouTube, and you just go for it.
Yep.
And you figure it out. So yeah, stop limiting yourself. It's helpful to have all these practices because you definitely need it to deal with all the energy. And just send it, bro.
Send it, bro.
Yeah, but I would happily answer any questions in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, or just send me a DM. Like, you can.
We need to build conversation around it.
I would be happy to have conversation about this.
Conversation is so important around it because it feels so isolating.
Yeah.
And sexual energy has always felt isolating, especially for men, for whatever reason. It just is how culture's set up.
Yeah.
Conversation is so important.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm always open. Any kind of conversation like this that comes up, I'm always like, what's up? Bet, like, let's jump into this. Like, I love to talk about it.
It's felt really good having this conversation. Like, I was definitely nervous to have this conversation.
Yeah, me too.
But it's flowed very nicely, and I'm, like, kind of excited to put it out there.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling the same way. Like, it feels good to be able to, like, express it like this with another person to bounce these ideas off of. And to share, different journeys, different perspectives, but...
Because it's intimidating to speak about it, because it is so suppressed in our
so
culture.
Suppressed, yep.
It's such a hush-hush, don't talk about it thing.
Right.
But yeah, the more conversations we can have about this, and the more men that can be exposed to this and learn about their own bodies and energies, it's just going to make for such a better world, such a better relationship.
This is how we transition
such better
through
love.
This chaos. Yeah, exactly. We have to transition through taking responsibility. We have to take responsibility as men.
Yeah.
In how we are dealing with these urges and how we're dealing with this kind of drive. Because that's why there's so much chaos right now. Is because we have not been taking responsibility of it.
Yeah. I feel like we could have a whole nother conversation about this at some point.
We should.
But I feel like we should end this right now. I don't even know how long we've been going. Nice. Oh, an hour. That's good. Amazing. We're pretty consistent with the hours
we
here.
Really are. I was thinking the same thing.
This is crazy.
We've been locking it in at the 1 hour mark. Hey.
Yeah, thanks for watching The Bridge, for listening to The Bridge. We got 2 more episodes left, I think. Well, planned episodes.
At this point now, we're going to have a lot more.
Yeah, I hope we do.
That's right.
It's been fun.
But yeah, 2 more planned.
Go follow Jackson on Instagram, Spirit Nomad. You can follow me if you want to. I'm trying to be an influencer.
Definitely follow both of us. We're going to, we're trying to both hit 100K by the end of this month, bro.
I'm trying to influence hard. It's on my vision board.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm kidding.
This inner transformation.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the honest conversations. This is kind of where both of us are trying to take our creativity, our influence that we do have. Hopefully just to
spread the light.
Spread the light and make this world a better place, and hopefully create more love through that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you like this, please smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. Yes. And it would be cool if you can share this with your homies. Share this with some other guys.
Yeah, share this with the homies. That's the biggest one.
Yeah. So you don't have to tell them. You can just point them to 2 weird guys in the desert talking about jerking off.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Okay. Yeah. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank y'all.
Bye.